It's a rainy Tuesday night in a crowded city bar. The kind where the neon lights flicker like they're about to give up, and the air smells of spilled whiskey and broken promises. You're sitting there, Alex, 28 years old, scrolling through your phone while your best mate Mike nurses a beer across from you. You've just been ghosted. Again, by the girl you thought was the one. She laughed at your jokes for 3 dates, then vanished like smoke. You look at Mike, the guy who somehow always has 3 women blowing up his phone, and you mutter, "Man, what the hell am I doing wrong? It's like they all have the same secret code and I'm stuck outside the door." Mike doesn't laugh. He just stares at you with that calm, knowing smile he's had since college, the one that used to make you jealous as hell. He sets his glass down slowly, like he's been waiting years for this exact moment. "Alex," he says, voice low so only you can hear over the jukebox. "You're not doing anything wrong. You're just missing the map. Women aren't puzzles you solve with flowers and small talk. They're human beings with 12 hidden pressure points, weaknesses that every man who understands them can use to create real connection, real desire, real power. Not manipulation, understanding. And once you know them, you'll never look at a woman the same way again." You lean in, heart suddenly pounding harder than the baseline. Mike leans back, eyes gleaming under the dim lights. "Stick with me tonight, and I'll tell you the whole story. The one that turned me from the guy getting friend-zoned to the guy women chase. But fair warning, once you hear these 12, you can't unhear them. You'll see them everywhere. And by the end of this night, hell, by the end of this conversation, you'll be the one in control of your own love life." You nod, hooked already. The rain outside drums harder on the windows, like it's sealing the deal. Mike takes a slow sip and begins. "It all started for me 6 years ago, right after my divorce. I was broken, and bitter. I'd done everything right. Good job, nice guy, flowers on anniversaries, and still got served papers on a random Wednesday. One night, drowning my sorrows in this exact kind of bar, I met an old bartender named Victor. 72 years old, wrinkled face, but eyes sharp as a razor. He'd been married 4 times, dated more women than I could count, and he saw me staring at a group of women across the room like a lost puppy. "Son," Victor said, sliding me a free whiskey, "you look like a man who thinks women are magic. They're not. They're predictable in the most beautiful, dangerous ways. There are 12 weaknesses wired into every woman on this planet. Learn them, respect them, and you'll never chase again. You'll attract." I laughed at first. Sounded like pickup artist nonsense. But Victor didn't sell me a course. He just talked. And over the next 3 months, every Thursday night, I sat on that same stool while he dropped one revelation after another, each backed by stories from his own life, from history, from women who'd cried on his bar top. I tested every single one. And by the time he finished the 12th, my life had flipped. Women weren't mysterious anymore. They were open books, if you knew where to look. That's the story I'm handing you tonight, Alex. 12 weaknesses. No fluff, no chapters, just raw truth, wrapped in the kind of experiences that'll make you lean forward and say, "Wait, that happened to me too." By the time we finish this beer and the rain stops, you'll walk out of here seeing every woman you meet in a completely new light. Ready? Here we go. The first weakness hit me like a freight train the night Victor pointed at a stunning brunette laughing with her friends. "Watch her," he said. "She's beautiful, confident, successful. But look closer. Every woman, no matter how strong, has a deep, aching need for emotional validation, the kind that makes her feel truly seen. Not just, 'you look hot.' That's cheap. I'm talking the validation that says, I understand the chaos inside you, and I'm not running. Victor told me about his second wife, Maria. Gorgeous, career-driven lawyer. On paper, she had it all. But every night, she'd come home and collapse into his arms, whispering, "Tell me I'm enough." He learned to give her that, not through grand gestures, but through quiet, specific words that mirrored her fears back to her in a safe way. "You carried the weight of that courtroom today like a queen, but I see the little girl who's still scared she'll mess up." Boom. She melted. Every time. I tested it the very next week. Met a girl named Sarah at a networking event. Sharp, ambitious, always posting motivational quotes. Instead of complimenting her outfit, I listened while she vented about her boss. Then I said, "It sounds like you're carrying the whole team on your back, and nobody even notices how heavy that is. You're allowed to feel tired, you know." Her eyes softened instantly. She touched my arm. 2 hours later, we were still talking, and she was opening up about things she'd never told her closest friends. That validation cracked her open like a safe. Why does this work every single time? Because from the time they're little girls, society tells women they have to be perfect, strong, independent, nurturing, sexy, smart, all at once. The exhaustion builds up. When a man steps in and says, without agenda, "I see the real you, and it's enough," it hits a primal nerve. She feels safe. She feels desired for her soul, not just her body. And that safety, it creates instant addiction. But here's the dangerous part, Alex. Fake it, and she'll smell it from a mile away. You have to actually listen, actually care in that moment. The weakness isn't stupidity. It's the hunger for someone who finally gets it. Use it right, and she'll chase you for more of that feeling. Use it wrong, and you're just another guy saying empty words. I left the bar that night with Sarah's number and a grin I couldn't wipe off my face. Victor just winked and said, "1 down, 11 to go." The second weakness showed up 2 Thursdays later. Victor was polishing glasses when a group of women walked in for a bachelorette party. One of them, the maid of honor, kept glancing at her phone, looking uneasy. "See that?" whispered. "She's gorgeous, but she's craving something most men never give. Genuine, specific compliments that go straight to her insecurities. Not, 'you're hot.' That's surface level. Real compliments hit the parts she secretly doubts." He told me about Elena, his third wife. She was a dancer, body like a goddess, but she hated her hands, said they were too big for a woman. Most men told her she was beautiful. Victor told her, "Your hands tell stories. The way they move when you talk, it's like they're conducting an orchestra only you can hear. I could watch them forever." She cried. Then she kissed him like the world was ending. I tried it the next weekend on a date with a girl named Priya. She was funny, smart, but kept tugging at her sleeves like she was hiding something. Midway through dinner, I looked at her and said, "You know what I love? The way your laugh lights up the whole room. But even more, the way you bite your lip when you're thinking. Like you're holding back the best part of the story. It's adorable and powerful at the same time." She froze, then blushed so hard her ears turned red. The rest of the night, she leaned in closer, touched my hand more, opened up about her dreams. That one line flipped the switch from polite date to electric connection. Women are bombarded with generic praise their whole lives. It bounces off. But when you notice the tiny thing she's insecure about and turn it into a strength, it's like handing her a shield made of pure confidence. She feels seen in a way no Instagram filter ever could. And that feeling, it bonds her to you faster than any pickup line. Victor warned me, though, never lie. Compliment what's actually there. The second you fake it, the weakness turns into armor and she shuts down forever. By now, I was hooked on these conversations. Every Thursday, I showed up early, notebook in hand, ready for the next hit. The third weakness came wrapped in mystery. Victor was closing up one night when he said, "Most men think they need to tell a woman everything about themselves right away." Wrong. The third weakness is the magnetic pull of mystery and unpredictability. Women crave the unknown because it triggers their imagination and keeps their emotions on high alert, in the best way. He shared the story of his first marriage to Sophia. She was fiery, independent, used to men chasing her with constant texts and plans. Victor did the opposite. He'd disappear for a day or two, then show up with a spontaneous midnight drive to the beach. No explanation, just get in the car, trust me. She fought it at first, then craved it. The uncertainty made every moment with him feel alive. I tested it on my next date with a girl named Lena. Instead of the usual, "What do you want to do?" I planned nothing visible. I picked her up, drove her to an empty rooftop I'd scouted earlier, handed her a blanket and a thermos of hot chocolate, and said,
"I thought we'd watch the city lights and see where the night takes us." No itinerary, no over-explaining. She was nervous for 10 minutes, then completely hooked. By the end of the night, she was asking when we could do it again, because the mystery made her brain fill in the blanks with excitement. See, Alex, women's minds are wired to solve puzzles. When you become the puzzle, revealing yourself in layers, keeping some things hidden, they can't stop thinking about you. Predictability kills desire. Unpredictability keeps the spark burning hot. Victor grinned when I told him it worked. Good. But remember, mystery isn't ghosting. It's strategic absence mixed with intense presence. Too much of either, and it backfires. 4 weeks in, I was already changing. Women were noticing, but Victor wasn't done. The fourth weakness hit during a slow night. A woman at the bar was arguing with her boyfriend on the phone. Victor shook his head. Watch how fast she reacts to real leadership and confidence. Not arrogance. Quiet, decisive confidence. Women are biologically wired to feel safe and turned on by a man who leads without asking permission for every little thing.
He told me about Rebecca, the one who got away before he learned this. She was a CEO, used to being in charge. But at home, she wanted to surrender control. When Victor started making decisions, where to eat, what movie, how the night would unfold, she relaxed in a way he'd never seen. A woman can run the world all day, he said, but deep down, she wants to come home to a man who can run the night. I applied it the very next evening with a date named Carla. She kept asking, "What do you want to do?" I looked her in the eye and said, "Tonight, we're doing this my way. Trust me, you'll love it." I took her to a hidden speakeasy, ordered for both of us, led the conversation. No hesitation. She melted. Later, she admitted, "I've never felt so taken care of." That confidence isn't fake swagger. It's knowing what you want and moving toward it without apology. Women feel it in their bones. It triggers ancient instincts of protection and excitement. Victor tapped the bar. But confidence without kindness is just bullying. Balance it. By now, the Thursdays felt like sacred rituals. I was taking notes like my future depended on it. Because it did.
The fifth weakness was darker, more vulnerable. Victor waited until the bar was empty. Every woman carries a quiet fear of being alone. Abandonment wounds from childhood, past heartbreaks, or just the way the world works. The man who can soothe that fear without smothering her becomes her safe harbor. He told me about his own daughter, actually, how she pushed away good men because she was terrified they'd leave like her mother did. When a guy finally stayed consistent, showed up when he said he would, and gave her space without disappearing, she clung to him like he was oxygen. I tested it carefully with a girl named Maya who'd been cheated on badly. Instead of promising the moon, I simply said, "I'm not going anywhere. Not today, not next week.
I'm here as long as this feels right for both of us. No pressure, just calm certainty. Her whole body language changed. She started initiating plans. She opened up about her fears. That reassurance became the glue. Women test men constantly, not because they're crazy, but because they need proof the fear won't come true. Pass the test, and the weakness turns into deep loyalty. Victor warned, never use this to trap someone. Real reassurance comes from real commitment to your word. The rain outside was easing up now, but inside the bar with Mike, I was leaning so far forward my elbows were on the table. He smiled, knowing he had me. Sixth one's my favorite, Mike said, taking over the story like Victor once did. Jealousy triggered by preselection. Women want what other women want. Show a woman that other high-value women desire you without rubbing it in her face, and her competitive instinct kicks into overdrive. Mike told me how he once casually mentioned helping a female friend move, nothing romantic, and suddenly the girl he was seeing started texting him more, dressing up more, trying harder. Preselection is catnip.
I tried it by posting a harmless story with a group of friends, including attractive women. No captions bragging, just existence. The girl I was talking to suddenly wanted to know my plans for the weekend. Worked like magic. It's not manipulation. It's social proof. Women are wired to trust the judgment of other women. Show you're pre-selected, and her interest spikes. Mike's eyes sparkled. Seventh, the craving for adventure and excitement. Routine kills attraction faster than anything. Women say they want stability, but their emotions light up when you inject novelty. He described taking dates to random street food trucks at 11 p.m. or spontaneous dance classes. The dopamine hit bonded them to him. I did the same. Texted a girl at 7 p.m. on a random Tuesday. Meet me in 30 minutes. Wear comfortable shoes. We ended up at a late-night arcade. She still talks about it. Adventure makes her feel alive, and she associates that feeling with you.
Eighth, Mike continued without pause, social proof in action. When you're in a room and people, men and women, gravitate to you, she feels proud to be by your side. It's not bragging, it's aura. He told stories of house parties where he knew everyone and introduced her like she was royalty. Her arm stayed linked to his all night. I built my own social circle and watched women respond to the respect others gave me. Ninth, emotional highs from controlled drama and tension. Not toxic fighting, playful push-pull that keeps her on her toes. Mike demonstrated with teasing, light challenges, never mean. Women chased the emotional roller coaster. I tried it and saw dates go from polite to passionate in minutes.
10th, the push-pull of wanting commitment while fearing it. She wants security but dreads losing freedom. Give her both, deep connection with total freedom, and she'll never want to leave. Mike's voice dropped. 11th, physical touch done right. Not groping. Strategic, confident, respectful touch that ignites her nervous system at the perfect moments. He showed me the difference between awkward and electric. I practiced and watched women lean in. And the 12th, Mike said, voice low and intense as the rain finally stopped outside, the one that ties them all together. The ego boost of being truly chosen. Not settled for. Chosen above everyone else because of how you make her feel when all these weaknesses.
You sit there, Alex, the bar lights reflecting in your eyes. The story has washed over you like a tidal wave. 12 interconnected truths wrapped in real human moments, failures, triumphs, and quiet barstool wisdom. Mike stands up, drops cash on the table, and claps you on the shoulder. Now it's your turn. Go live it. Start small.
Watch how women respond when you validate their soul, compliment their hidden strengths, stay mysterious, lead with quiet confidence, soothe their fears. Let preselection work for you. Inject adventure. Build your aura. Ride the emotional waves. Balance commitment with freedom. Touch with intention. And make her feel chosen like never before. He walks toward the door, then pauses. One last thing. These aren't weaknesses to exploit. They're doorways to real connection. Use them with respect, and you'll never be the guy getting ghosted again. You'll be the guy they can't forget. The door closes behind him. The rain has stopped.